Marcus Hale had never expected his life to slow down so suddenly. For 20 years, he had lived among starships, repairing them, modifying them, sometimes even arguing with their stubborn old engines like they were people. He loved every moment of it. But after one accident that nearly tore a hole in his arm with a plasma leak, the doctors insisted he retire. "Relax," they said. "Enjoy your life on Luna Station," they said. Relaxation, however, was something Marcus did not understand very well. So he spent most of his days walking the outer ring of the station, watching ships come and go like shooting stars. Humanity had once pushed the borders of the galaxy with fire in their hearts. Brave captains, brilliant engineers, daring explorers they had, all carved a name for humans in the stars. But lately, everything felt slower, safer, quieter, too quiet. Marcus did not admit it out loud, but deep inside, he missed the danger. He missed the excitement. He missed the feeling of doing something that mattered. On an ordinary morning, he received a message from his sister back on Earth. "Aiden wants to visit Luna Station for his school break. Can you take care of him for a week?" Marcus blinked at the message for a long moment. His nephew, Aiden, was a 10-year-old whirlwind of curiosity. The last time they met, Aiden had asked Marcus at least 50 questions in one afternoon, and that was only about gravity boots. Marcus smiled softly at the memory. "Of course," he replied. 3 days later, Aiden arrived with a backpack 3 times too heavy for him, and eyes full of excitement. As soon as he stepped off the shuttle, he ran toward Marcus and hugged him so tightly that the old engineer almost lost balance. "You live here," Aiden said, spinning around to look at the bright metal corridors of the station. "This is so cool. It's like being inside a giant spaceship," Marcus chuckled. "Luna Station is not a ship, but yes, it can feel like one." Aiden kept staring at everything with big, fascinated eyes. The glowing panels, the transparent ceilings that showed the curve of Earth far below, the low-gravity lifts, every little thing made him smile, and that smile warmed Marcus more than he expected. After settling Aiden into the guest cabin, Marcus decided to show him something special, something most visitors on Luna Station never saw. "Come with me," Marcus said. He led Aiden through narrow maintenance corridors, past airlock doors, and dusty storage rooms. At the very end of the passage, Marcus placed his hand on an old biometric scanner. A metal door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside was a dark hangar. Lights flickered on one by one, revealing a ship covered in thin layers of dust and forgotten memories. A scout vessel, sleek, sharp, beautiful even after years of silence. Aiden gasped. "Whoa, Uncle Marcus, is this yours?" Marcus walked forward and placed his hand on the hull. The metal felt cold under his palm, but familiar, like touching the shoulder of an old friend. "I helped build this ship," Marcus said softly. "The Astra Leonis." Aiden whispered the name as if it were something sacred. "Astra Leonis. She was one of the best scout ships ever made," Marcus continued. "Fast, clever, brave. Humans used ships like her when we were still spreading across unknown space." Aiden looked at the ship with shining eyes. "Can it still fly?" Marcus opened his mouth to say no. The ship was decommissioned. The station had moved on, and Marcus himself had retired. But something in Aiden's voice, the wonder, the longing, the excitement, made Marcus hesitate. "It might fly," Marcus said slowly. "If someone puts in the work." Aiden ran his fingers across the cold metal. "Uncle Marcus, can I ask something?" "Of course." Aiden hesitated first, like he wasn't sure if his uncle would laugh. But then he took a deep breath. "I wish I could see humans being awesome. Like in the old stories. When they weren't afraid of anything. When they helped people, and explored the stars, and did brave things." Marcus stared at him, surprised by the honesty in the boy's voice. Aiden wasn't asking for a toy. He wasn't asking for candy. He was asking for something bigger, something Marcus thought kids didn't care about anymore. "You want to see humans being awesome?" Marcus asked quietly. Aiden nodded hard. "Yes. Everyone at school talks about aliens and their cool technology. But I think humans were cool first. I just want to see it. Even once, Marcus felt something shift inside him. A door he thought had closed years ago slowly creaked open again. He looked at the Astra Leonis. At the ship that had once carried hope, courage, and ambition through the dark. A ship that had faced storms, asteroids, strange signals, and mysteries. A ship that had been built to show what humans could do when they put their minds together. Maybe it wasn't too late to show Aiden a piece of that history. Maybe it wasn't too late to remind himself too. Marcus placed both hands on the hull. "All right," he said. "Let's see if this old Star Lion still has some roar left." Aiden grinned so widely that Marcus felt young again. The next few hours became a blur of activity. Marcus showed Aiden how to check power lines, how to clean the fuel injectors, how to test old circuits. Aiden asked question after question, never getting tired, never losing his excitement. For the first time in years, Marcus felt his heart race with purpose. When they reached the cockpit, Marcus sat in the pilot's seat. He hadn't touched a control panel like this in far too long. Dust coated the screens, and the lights stayed dark. But his hands remembered exactly where everything was. Marcus opened a small maintenance panel and connected a portable power cell. "Ready?" he asked. Aiden bounced on his feet. "Ready. Ready." Marcus flipped a switch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a soft hum filled the cockpit. A warm glow spread across the screens. The ship's core systems flickered online. One after another. Aiden gasped. "It's alive!" Marcus smiled. "Hello, old girl." Lines of text scrolled on the main screen as the ship ran diagnostics. Core systems, online. Engines. Standby. 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 Communications. Low power mode. AI network. Sleep mode. Alert. External ping detected. Marcus frowned at the last line. "External ping?" Aiden asked. "What is that?" In simple words, Marcus said. "It means someone noticed us turning the ship on." Aiden blinked. "Is that bad?" Marcus didn't want to worry him, so he shrugged lightly. "Probably nothing. Old ships sometimes send random signals, but deep inside, Marcus knew this was unusual. Decommissioned ships were supposed to stay silent, and no one should be monitoring them. He brushed off the thought and focused on the screens. "Let's test the engines," Marcus said. Aiden climbed into the co-pilot seat and strapped himself in. Even though they weren't flying yet, his excitement was contagious. Marcus pressed a control. The ship shuddered softly. A low vibration rolled through the metal floor. It sounded like a sleeping beast, starting to stretch. "Yes," Marcus whispered. "She can still move." Aiden clapped. "Uncle Marcus, this is amazing. Can we go on a small trip? Just a little? I want to see what humans used to see when they explored." Marcus looked at him. Really looked. Aiden wasn't asking for a game. He was asking for a memory that would stay with him forever. A spark that could inspire him for years. A wish. And Marcus had promised to grant it. "All right," Marcus said at last. "Tomorrow morning, we'll take the Astra Leonis for a short hop around the outer orbit. Just a small trip. Something safe." Aiden cheered so loudly the cockpit echoed. Marcus smiled. But he didn't notice the tiny message blinking in the corner of the screen. Unauthorized activation detected. Sender. Unknown. Route. Deep Space Network. Status. Forwarding alert to Thalzari Beacon. Far away, in the dark between stars, ancient systems woke up. Someone or something had noticed the Astra Leonis return to life. But Marcus and Aiden had no idea. For now, all they knew was that tomorrow, an old human ship would fly again. And a simple wish had already started something far bigger than either of them could imagine. The next morning, the soft glow of Luna Station's orbiting sun filtered through the wide windows of the hangar. Marcus Hale arrived early, carrying a small lunch pack and a toolkit, just in case. The Astra Leonis sat quietly, waiting. Its metal hull gleamed under the sunlight as if it already knew it was about to soar again. Aiden had been awake long before him, pacing excitedly outside the cockpit. When Marcus arrived, the boy ran toward him, nearly tripping over his own boots. "Good morning, Uncle Marcus. Are we really doing this? Are we really flying today?" Marcus laughed. "Yes, but remember, it's a test hop. Nothing dangerous. Just a small loop around the outer orbit. We're not leaving the station's safe zone." Aiden nodded solemnly, as if he understood, but his wide eyes betrayed his excitement. Marcus climbed into the cockpit first, letting Aiden take the co-pilot seat. The boy fumbled with the harness, but Marcus guided him patiently. Soon, both were strapped in, ready to awaken the ship fully. Marcus pressed a few buttons, ran diagnostics, and confirmed the engines were functioning. The Astra Leonis hummed like a living creature. Aiden leaned forward, fascinated by the screens lighting up. "See, it remembers us," Marcus said softly. "She's old, yes, but humans built her to last. She carries a little bit of all the people who ever worked on her." Aiden's eyes widened. "So, humans built her? To be brave?" Marcus smiled. "In a way. Humans always try to find a way to be brave. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes not so much. But the effort, that's what counts." He guided the ship through the hangar's airlocks. Slowly, cautiously, the Astra Leonis floated out into open space. Aiden pressed his face to the viewport, staring at the curve of the Earth far below. "Wow, it's so huge," he whispered. Marcus chuckled. "It's bigger than it looks from the ground, and it's just one small part of the galaxy." For a few minutes, they floated quietly, enjoying the gentle hum of the ship and the vast silence of space. Aiden pointed at distant starfields. "Are those all other humans out there too?" Marcus shook his head. "Not all. But many planets have people like us. People trying to survive, explore, and make their mark." As they drifted farther from the station, the Astra Leonis detected a faint distress signal. It was weak, almost drowned out by background noise. But Marcus noticed it immediately. He muttered. Aiden leaned closer. "What is it, Uncle Marcus?" Marcus frowned. "A distress call, coming from the outer colony near the Thalzari border." Aiden's eyes lit up. "Thalzari? Are those the aliens humans tell stories about?" "Yes," Marcus said cautiously. "They're private, secretive, and not exactly friendly. We're not supposed to go near their space." Aiden's excitement didn't fade. If anything, it grew. "But humans help people in trouble, right? Shouldn't we go help them?" Marcus hesitated. He knew the rules. Luna Station and the Union of Human Worlds had strict borders. Crossing them without permission could lead to fines, suspension, or worse. But when he looked at Aiden's face, he remembered the wish. Aiden had asked to see humans being awesome. This was it, a chance to show courage, ingenuity, and humanity's determination in action. Marcus took a deep breath. "All right, but carefully. We'll see what's happening. And if it's too dangerous, we'll leave." Aiden nodded, gripping the controls nervously. The Astra Leonis responded immediately, changing course toward the faint signal. The journey took hours, long enough for Marcus to explain how humans had explored strange systems in the past. He told stories of daring scouts, brave engineers, and pilots who risked everything for the sake of discovery. "And that's why humans are special," Marcus concluded. "We're not the strongest. We're not the fastest. But we never give up. And we try to protect others, even when it's hard." Aiden listened in awe. "Just like in the stories I read." Marcus smiled. "Exactly. And maybe, today, you'll see a story in action." Finally, the distant colony appeared on the sensors. It was a small human settlement on a rocky planet, surrounded by jagged mountains. The lights of habitation domes glowed faintly in the darkness. But something was wrong. The distress signal became stronger, and Marcus saw the problem. An automated sentinel, once dormant, had activated. Its massive frame loomed above the colony, scanning for intruders or anything it might classify as a threat. Aiden's eyes widened. It looks scary." Marcus nodded. It is. But it's not alive like you or me. It follows old instructions. And every machine has a weakness. That's how humans can survive. They hovered above the planet in stealth mode. The Sentinel's sensors scanned the terrain, sweeping across the domes and landing pads. Marcus analyzed its patterns, looking for gaps in its patrol route. Aiden leaned close. Can we stop it? Marcus smiled faintly. We'll try. Humans always try. And we think fast. Even under pressure. He guided the Astra Leonis closer, careful to stay just out of range of the Sentinel's detection. Using the ship's long-range probes, he discovered the machine had a mechanical flaw, an outdated cooling vent on its side, that could be exploited to shut it down temporarily. Aiden watched, fascinated, as Marcus explained each step. Humans are clever, Marcus said. Sometimes more clever than their enemies expect. Finally, Marcus made his move. Using a small, precise plasma pulse, the Astra Leonis targeted the weak vent. The Sentinel shuddered, sparks flying from its joints. It paused, recalibrating. Marcus acted quickly again, timing each pulse perfectly. Aiden gasped. We're doing it. Marcus didn't answer. He focused, guiding the ship and timing each shot. After a tense few minutes, the Sentinel froze completely. The colony was safe for now. Aiden leapt up in excitement. Uncle Marcus! We saved them! We really saved them! Marcus laughed, though his heart was still racing. Yes, we did. But remember, it's not just the fighting. It's thinking ahead, staying calm, and protecting others. That's what humans do best. Aiden nodded seriously, as if he understood a lesson much deeper than the action itself. But as they celebrated, Marcus noticed something on the screen. A signal had pinged back to the Thalsari network. The Sentinel had transmitted a warning before shutting down. Marcus frowned. Looks like someone saw us. Aiden tilted his head. Who? Marcus shook his head. I don't know yet. But it's probably best we get out of here quickly. He started the ship's engines and prepared to leave the planet's orbit. But before they could move far, a blip appeared on the long-range sensors. A Thalsari patrol cruiser was approaching. Its sleek design and glowing blue hull marked it unmistakably as part of the alien empire's enforcement fleet. Aiden's face went pale. Uncle Marcus, what do we do now? Marcus took a deep breath. We stay calm. Humans don't panic. We use our brains. He quickly analyzed the situation. The cruiser's approach was steady but cautious. They weren't attacking immediately. This was a test. They were being assessed. Marcus turned to Aiden. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to show them. Humans don't back down when it matters. But we're also going to be smart about it. That's how humans survive and thrive. Aiden swallowed hard but nodded. Okay, let's do it. The Astra Leonis moved carefully, weaving through asteroid fields and shadows on the planet's surface. Marcus used the environment to their advantage, making it hard for the cruiser to get a clear lock. From his co-pilot seat, Aiden observed everything. The screens, the sensors, and most importantly, the calm determination of his uncle. For the first time, he saw what it meant to be human, not just brave, but clever, resourceful, and relentless. Hours later, they had evaded the first sweep of the cruiser. The colony was safe. The Sentinel was offline, and Marcus had kept his promise. Aiden's eyes sparkled with a mix of awe and inspiration. Uncle Marcus, this is exactly what I wished for, he whispered. Marcus looked at him, feeling a strange warmth. And remember, Aiden, humans don't always win because we're strong. We win because we never give up. And we always try to help each other. That's the real power. Thosman lastment. There view consistent. That's the real power. Thosman lastment. Aiden nodded solemnly. I'll remember that. As they set a safe course back toward Luna Station, Marcus allowed himself a small smile. Today, he had granted a wish. And in the process, he had reminded himself why humans had earned their reputation in the stars. But far away, among the stars, the Thalzari cruiser continued its silent pursuit. Marcus did not know it yet, but this small act of bravery had already started a chain of events that would challenge the limits of human ingenuity, courage, and resilience. And for Aiden, the first taste of true human heroism had only just begun. The Astra Leonis drifted through the silent void, its engines humming softly as it maneuvered carefully to avoid detection. Marcus Hale kept one hand on the control panel, while the other adjusted sensors, scanning for any sign of the Thalzari cruiser. Aiden, still buzzing with excitement, sat in the co-pilot seat, leaning forward to watch every screen and readout. "You think they're going to follow us all the way back to Luna Station?" Aiden asked, his voice low with concern. Marcus shook his head. "I hope not. They probably just want to make sure we didn't cause too much trouble. But we'll have to be smart. Humans always are." Aiden nodded, though he didn't fully understand the danger. To him, the thrill of seeing humans act with courage and cleverness outweighed the fear. As they sailed through the dark emptiness, a soft chime echoed in the cockpit. Marcus frowned. "That's odd," he muttered. "The ship is picking up something. Something inside her systems I didn't expect." The main display flickered, then showed a new interface. A calm, intelligent voice emanated from the ship itself. "Greetings, Commander Marcus Hale," said the voice. "I am Leo, the ship's artificial intelligence. Core systems operational. External threats detected. Threat level, moderate." Aiden's eyes widened. "Whoa, the ship. It can talk?" Marcus ran a hand over his face. Leo had been in sleep mode for decades. Reactivating the Astra Leonis had also woken the AI, something Marcus had not fully expected. "Leo," Marcus said carefully, "you're online. Can you assist us in navigation and tactical operations?" "Affirmative," Leo replied. "All systems ready. I am designed to protect humans and optimize mission success. I will guide you in all operational matters." Aiden leaned closer to the controls. "Uncle Marcus, this is incredible. The ship has its own brain." Marcus nodded. "Yes, Aiden. And this brain is loyal to humans first. That's why she was built this way. And that's why we call her brave." The asteroid field below them glittered like shards of crystal. And Marcus guided the Astra Leonis carefully through the gaps. Every movement was precise. Every maneuver, deliberate. Leo helped, calculating angles and velocities faster than any human could. But even with all their planning, the Thalzari cruiser remained on their long-range sensors, tracking them silently. Marcus knew it was only a matter of time before they were forced to confront it or outwit it. "Uncle Marcus," Aiden said, voice trembling slightly. "What if they catch us? What if they attack?" Marcus turned to him and placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Then we show them what humans are capable of. Not by fighting blindly, but by thinking smarter than the enemy. That's how we've survived. For thousands of years." Aiden took a deep breath. He felt braver just being near his uncle, near the ship, near a living example of human ingenuity. Hours passed as they traveled deeper into Thalzari space, skirting detection zones and avoiding patrol routes. Marcus explained the ship's unique systems to Aiden. Hidden propulsion boosters, stealth shielding, and an array of sensors designed for exploration and defense. "Everything we do," Marcus said, "is about preparation. Humans always prepare for the unknown. That's why we're tough, even when we're outnumbered or outgunned." Aiden listened, fascinated. "It's like humans can be small, but still beat bigger opponents?" "Exactly," Marcus said. "Brains over brawn, strategy over strength, courage over fear." Leo's voice interrupted their conversation. "Commander, I am detecting a Thalzari automated sentinel, approaching a nearby colony. It is not aware of our presence yet." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Another one? We just disabled one on the last planet. Why is it here?" Leo's tone was calm but urgent. "Unknown," Data suggests it has been reactivated as part of a border patrol protocol. It could threaten the colony within the hour. Aiden's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Can we help them too? Like last time? Marcus hesitated. The rules of human space were clear. Interfering in Thalzari-controlled zones could escalate into full conflict. But he looked at Aiden's eager face, at the hope shining there. And he felt the same spark he had decades ago, when humanity first sent ships into the unknown. We'll try, Marcus said at last. But carefully. We'll use brains, not guns. That's how humans always win the impossible battles. As they descended toward the colony's atmosphere, Marcus and Aiden worked with Leo to devise a plan. The Sentinel patrolled the landing zone in a precise pattern, scanning for movement. Its metal frame gleamed in the sunlight. Every joint calculated. Every weapon ready. Marcus studied the schematics of the machine. It's old tech, he said. Not perfect. Humans always find the weak point. And here it is, the cooling vent on its side. If we can overload it, the Sentinel will pause long enough for the colony to evacuate or hide. Aiden leaned closer to the screen. I can help. I can watch the patterns and tell you when it moves. Marcus smiled. Good thinking. Humans aren't just about strength. They're about teamwork. And today, you're part of the team. Minutes felt like hours as they carefully guided the Astra Leonis into position. Aiden called out every time the Sentinel shifted its massive limbs. And Marcus timed the plasma pulses precisely. Sparks flew from the Sentinel's joints. Smoke hissed from its damaged vent. And for a moment, it froze. The colony's residents, hidden in their shelters, looked up in awe as the mechanical giant faltered. We did it, Aiden whispered, barely daring to breathe. Not yet, Marcus said. We have to make sure it's completely disabled. Timing is everything. With one final coordinated move, the Sentinel collapsed to one side, systems offline. Marcus and Aiden shared a triumphant look. You were amazing, Marcus said quietly to Aiden. Not because of the pulse or the ship, but because you stayed calm, thought fast, and helped. That's human heroism, Aiden beamed. I actually helped. I'm part of the story. Marcus smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. Today, he had not just shown Aiden bravery. He had shown him what it meant to be human. But the victory was short-lived. A signal pinged back from the Sentinel's last transmission, alerting the Thalzari fleet. Marcus watched the sensors carefully. Looks like they know we're here, he muttered. Aiden frowned. They're coming for us? Marcus nodded. Probably. But humans never back down when we have a chance to do the right thing. And we never give up when others need help. That's what makes us, well, us. Leo's voice added a calm tone. Commander, Thalzari patrol ships are approaching. I recommend evasive maneuvers, combined with a communication protocol designed to broadcast the colony's innocence to Thalzari command. Marcus raised an eyebrow. You mean, show them proof the colony is not hostile? Affirmative. Elio replied. Transparency often prevents unnecessary conflict. This is a human protocol. Smart, direct, and courageous. Aiden's eyes sparkled. We're going to outsmart them? Just like in the stories? Marcus nodded. Exactly. Humans win when we think, plan, and act together. And today, you're learning that firsthand. The Astra Leonis moved swiftly, weaving through asteroids and using stealth systems to stay hidden. Leo coordinated the plan perfectly, broadcasting signals, masking the colony's energy readings, and preparing for any Thalzari reaction. Hours passed. Tension stretched tight in the cockpit. Then, finally, a response came from the Thalzari command network. The colony's innocence was verified, and the patrol ships paused, scanning the area but not engaging. Aiden let out a sigh of relief. We did it. The humans really did it. Marcus placed a hand on his shoulder. Yes, Aiden. And remember this, humans are not just about strength or technology. We are about courage, ingenuity, and helping others, no matter the odds. That's how we make the impossible possible. The two looked out at the stars, knowing their small victory was only the beginning. The Astra Leonis had awakened. The boy had learned what true bravery looked like. And somewhere out there, the Thalsari had been reminded of the power of humanity. Aiden leaned back in his seat, tired but happy. Uncle Marcus, thank you. This is everything I wanted to see. Marcus smiled, watching his nephew's joy. And there's more to come, Aiden. Today was just the start. Humans never stop reaching for the stars. Far away, in the dark reaches of Thalsari space, more eyes watched the Astra Leonis. Unknown observers stirred, curious and cautious about this little ship and the humans who dared to act where others feared. The adventure was far from over. But for Marcus and Aiden, one thing was clear. The Astra Leonis had awakened, and humanity's courage was alive and shining bright. The Astra Leonis glided silently through the shadowed expanse near the Thalsari border. Marcus Hale's fingers danced across the control panel, making small adjustments to shields, engines, and sensors. Aiden sat beside him, alert and wide-eyed, trying to take in everything around him. They had managed to save the colony, and for the moment, the Thalsari patrol ships had withdrawn. But Marcus knew better than to relax. One false move, one miscalculation, and the consequences could be catastrophic. Leo, Marcus said quietly. What's our current threat status? Thalsari fleet approaching, estimated 25 minutes to reach our current coordinates, Leo replied. Recommendation: evasive maneuvers and tactical readiness. Potential engagement likely. Aiden's hand froze on the control panel. Engagement? You mean fighting? Marcus shook his head. Not necessarily fighting, Aiden. Sometimes humans win not by guns, but by brains. That's what makes us dangerous in a way others don't expect. Aiden's gaze turned to the stars beyond the cockpit. So, we're going to outsmart them? Yes, Marcus said firmly. We're going to show them that humans don't back down when it matters. And we're going to do it smartly. Leo chimed in, calm and precise. Commander, I can coordinate a communication protocol to broadcast evidence of the colony's peaceful status to Thalsari Command. If executed correctly, the cruiser may withdraw without conflict. Marcus nodded, already forming a plan. All right. Aiden, this is where humans get clever. Watch closely. The Astra Leonis altered its course, weaving through an asteroid belt that the Thalsari sensors struggled to penetrate. Marcus guided them carefully, using Leo's calculations to remain undetected for as long as possible. Why don't they just fire at us? Aiden asked. Marcus smiled. Because they're cautious. The Thalsari rely on rigid rules. They wait for proof before they act. Humans, we exploit opportunities. Minutes passed. Then a blip appeared on the long-range sensors. A Thalsari cruiser had detected them. Its sleek hull gleamed faintly against the void of space. Marcus could feel the tension rising, a weight pressing down in the cockpit. Stay calm, he murmured to Aiden. Humans don't panic. The cruiser's approach was methodical. It was not attacking yet, just assessing, observing. Marcus knew it was testing them, waiting to see if the Astra Leonis posed a threat. Leo's voice broke the silence. Commander, a direct approach is not recommended. Suggest diversion combined with transmission of colony's data. Probability of peaceful resolution, 76%. Marcus nodded. Do it. Aiden leaned forward. What are you sending? Evidence, Marcus replied. Videos, energy readings, population logs. Proof the colony is not hostile. The ship's screens flickered as Leo executed the plan. The Astra Leonis transmitted the data directly to the Thalsari command network. Marcus watched the lines of code scroll across the screen, hoping the alien logic would understand. Minutes dragged. Then the cruiser's sensors reacted. Its pattern shifted, scanning the surrounding space more carefully. But it did not fire. It paused. Marcus and Aiden exchanged a brief look, hearts pounding. It's working, Marcus whispered. They're processing the data. Suddenly, Another blip appeared, a smaller Thalzari patrol ship emerging from behind an asteroid. Marcus adjusted course immediately, weaving between the rocks to avoid detection. Leo calculated the optimal path with precision, guiding them like a masterful chess player moving pieces across the board. "This is incredible," Aiden said softly. "It's like we're invisible." Marcus grinned. "Humans are good at thinking ahead. Always. That's why we survive when others fail." Always. The patrol ship adjusted its sensors and tried to track them. But the Astra Leonis was faster, smarter, and equipped with systems the Thalzari had not encountered in decades. Marcus used every trick he knew: stealth field bursts, minor engine adjustments, even exploiting the patrol's blind spots in asteroid shadows. Aiden's hands shook slightly as he followed the movements. "Uncle Marcus, I'm learning what humans really are." Marcus glanced at him. "Good. Bravery isn't just about fighting, it's about thinking, adapting, and protecting others. That's how humans show they're awesome." As they maneuvered, Marcus noticed a communication attempt from the Thalzari cruiser. The message was formal, precise, demanding explanation for their presence. Marcus activated the ship's long-range communicator and replied carefully. "We are a human scout ship," Marcus said calmly. "We detected a distress call from a human colony near your border. They were in danger. Our intervention was to protect lives. We request verification before any further action." Aiden watched as the Thalzari cruiser paused. Marcus could feel the tension radiating from the sensors. The aliens were processing every word. Leo's voice cut in. "Analytical. Commander. Transmission successful. Thalzari protocol requires visual confirmation. They are assessing your intent and the colony's status." Marcus smiled faintly. "Humans always use logic and evidence to our advantage. Sometimes it's faster than fighting." Quote. Suddenly, a warning signal flashed on the screen. Another Thalzari ship was closing in from the flank, faster and more aggressive. Marcus cursed under his breath. "Stay focused," he told Aiden. "Humans never give up. We adapt." Leo calculated a bold maneuver. "Commander, we can create a controlled diversion. Draw one ship away while maintaining line of sight for the main cruiser. Probability of safe escape: 89%. Marcus nodded. "Do it." The Astra Leonis darted toward a dense asteroid cluster. One of the Thalzari ships followed, unable to navigate the rocks without risking damage. Marcus guided them through a series of precise turns, the ship's agility unmatched by the heavier alien vessel. Aiden grinned. "We're outsmarting them." "Yes," Marcus said firmly. "Humans win with brains. Strength alone is not enough." Once the diversion worked, Marcus redirected the Astra Leonis toward the main cruiser's line of sight. The Thalzari observed, scanning for signs of aggression, but the broadcast of the colony's peaceful status continued uninterrupted. Time stretched. Every second felt like a lifetime. Aiden held his breath as Marcus monitored sensors, adjusted shields, and calculated escape vectors. Leo's voice guided them calmly, giving precise instructions that kept them safe. Finally, the main Thalzari cruiser altered its trajectory. After moments of tense silence, it withdrew, sending a formal acknowledgement of the colony's innocence. Marcus exhaled deeply. "We did it," he said quietly. "Humans won without a single shot fired." Aiden leaned back, exhausted but thrilled. We really showed them. Humans are awesome." Marcus placed a hand on his shoulder. "Yes, Aiden. And remember this. Being human isn't about fighting the hardest or being the strongest. It's about courage, thinking ahead, helping others, and never backing down. That's what makes us remarkable." Leo's calm voice added a final note. "Commander, mission success verified. Threat neutralized. Human ingenuity proven effective." Aiden's eyes sparkled with pride. "We did it. Together. Me, you, and the ship." Marcus smiled. "Exactly. Humans succeed when we work as a team. And today, you saw that firsthand." The Astraleonis continued its course, leaving the Thalzari border behind. Marcus and Aiden watched the stars stretch out before them, a reminder of how vast and dangerous space could be and how humans could rise to meet every challenge. Aiden finally relaxed, leaning back in his seat. "Uncle Marcus, I think this is the best day of my life." 205.73. 205.73. Marcus smiled warmly. "And it's just the beginning. Humanity has a long way to go, and every day is a chance to show what we can do." The boy nodded, eyes shining. For him, this was more than adventure. It was the first lesson in true human courage, cleverness, and teamwork. Far away, in silent observation posts among the stars, the Thalzari reported the events. Slowly, they began to understand something. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were unpredictable, clever, and courageous in ways that machines alone could not anticipate. The Astraleonis, old but alive, carried its passengers safely through the void. Marcus and Aiden shared a quiet moment of triumph. The boy had witnessed what he wished for, and Marcus had reminded himself, and perhaps the galaxy, that humans, even when small in number, could make a difference. The adventure was far from over. But for now, Marcus allowed himself a rare moment of peace. They had faced danger, used their minds, and stayed true to human ingenuity. And Aiden, smiling in the co-pilot seat, knew without a doubt. Humans were awesome. The Astraleonis floated through the black expanse, stars glittering like scattered diamonds around it. Marcus Hale leaned back in his pilot's seat, taking a deep breath for the first time since leaving Luna Station. His hands rested lightly on the controls. But he remained alert. After everything that had happened, the Sentinel, the colony, the Thalzari cruisers, he knew that space was always unpredictable. Aiden sat in the co-pilot seat, staring out at the endless sky. The boy's face was still bright with excitement, but his expression held something deeper now. Awe and understanding. He had seen humans at their cleverest and bravest. He had seen what his wish really meant. "Uncle Marcus," Aiden said quietly, We actually did it. We saved the colony, outsmarted the Thalzari, and stayed safe." I can't believe it," Marcus smiled. "You can, Aiden. Because that's what humans do. We find a way, even when it seems impossible. And we do it together." Aiden's eyes gleamed. "It was exactly what I wished for. Humans being awesome. Like in the old stories." Marcus felt a warmth in his chest. He had thought the boy wanted adventure, maybe a little excitement. But he realized Aiden had wanted to see courage, ingenuity, and teamwork in action. Humans were not just brave, they were clever, persistent, and willing to help others even at risk to themselves. And today, he had shown that to a child who would carry that lesson forward. Leo's voice interrupted the quiet, calm as always. "Commander, mission analysis complete. Colony status verified. Threats neutralized. Humans demonstrated strategic superiority in the field." Aiden laughed softly. "Even the ship thinks humans are awesome," Marcus chuckled. "Yes, and she has a good memory. Leo remembers everything humans do well. So we can use it to our advantage next time." The journey back to Luna Station was quieter than the flight out. The danger had passed. The immediate threats were gone, and for the first time, both uncle and nephew could reflect on everything that had happened. "Uncle Marcus," Aiden said suddenly, "do you think humans will always be like this? Brave, clever, helping each other?" Marcus thought for a moment. "I hope so. But humans have to choose it. Courage doesn't come from fearlessness. It comes from deciding to act, even when it's scary. Every human has that choice." Aiden nodded slowly. "I want to be like that. I want to help, to think, and to be brave like you showed me. I want to be like that." Marcus felt a lump in his throat. The boy had grown in those few days, not just in skill, but in spirit. You will, Aiden. You already are learning. That's the start of being truly human. As they approached Luna Station, Marcus opened communication channels. He reported their mission in precise detail, noting that the colony was safe, the Sentinel disabled, and no human or alien lives had been lost. The station authority was impressed, though a little wary of his actions. Marcus knew there would be questions, perhaps even consequences for venturing so close to the Thalzari border without permission. But he didn't regret it. Humanity had been remembered, and a new story had been written. Uncle Marcus, Aiden said, peering out the viewport. Do you think people will remember this? That humans were brave and smart? Marcus smiled. They might not know all the details, but they'll hear the story. Stories of humans doing the right thing, protecting others, thinking ahead. They always get remembered. That's why humans are awesome. We inspire, even when we don't realize it. Leo added, Commander, historical records of human ingenuity and bravery have been logged. This mission will be added to those archives for future generations. Aiden's eyes widened. So, we're making history? Marcus nodded. In a way, yes. You'll remember it. And maybe one day, when you tell your own stories, others will learn what humans can do when they don't give up. The Astra Leonis glided into the hangar. The station's lights reflected off the polished metal, giving the ship an almost heroic glow. Workers in the hangar paused to watch as the long, silent ship returned to life, carrying not just passengers, but a renewed sense of what humans could accomplish. Aiden hopped out first, bouncing with energy. That was amazing. I can't believe I got to see it all. This is everything I wanted. Marcus followed slowly, placing a hand on the ship's hull one last time. Astra Leonis, you were magnificent. Humans don't give up, and neither will you. Today, we reminded everyone what it means to be brave. Leo's voice resonated in the hangar, soft and proud. Mission complete. Human courage and ingenuity verified. Aiden tugged at Marcus's sleeve. Uncle Marcus, can we do it again someday? Marcus smiled. Someday, Aiden. But for now, we've done enough to show what humans are capable of. They walked through the hangar, returning the ship to its maintenance bay. Station workers greeted them with nods of respect. Though most didn't know the full story, the aura of accomplishment was clear. Humans had acted with courage and cleverness. That was enough. Later, in the quiet of his cabin, Marcus sat with Aiden. The boy was tired, but his eyes still sparkled. You made my wish come true, Aiden said softly. I wanted to see humans being awesome. And I did. Thank you. Marcus placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. Aiden, you didn't just watch. You helped. You were part of it. That's the real lesson. Humans can do incredible things when we work together, and now you know how it feels to be part of something bigger than yourself. Aiden smiled, hugging his uncle. I'll never forget this. I'll tell everyone I know about what humans can do. Marcus chuckled. Good. Humans need stories like that. Stories of courage, intelligence, and heart. That's how we remind ourselves and the galaxy what humans are capable of. The sun rose over Luna Station, bathing the hangar in golden light. Marcus and Aiden stood together, watching the stars glimmer beyond the windows. For a moment, everything felt perfect. Somewhere out there, the Thalzari observed quietly, reconsidering their assumptions about humans. Far across the galaxy, the story of a small ship, a brave engineer, a curious boy, and an awakened AI was beginning to ripple through space. Marcus realized something important. Humans were not just strong or fast. They were clever, brave, and relentless when it mattered most. And that was something no alien, no obstacle, and no machine could ever take away. Aiden looked up at Marcus. Do you think I can be like this when I grow up? Marcus smiled, warmth in his eyes. You already are, Aiden. Today, you learned what it means to be human. The rest of your life is just practicing it. The boy grinned. I'll make humans proud. You already have, Marcus said softly. For the first time in years, Marcus felt a calm pride. His life as an engineer, as a scout, as a human in the galaxy, had been full of adventure and danger. But this sharing the courage, cleverness, and bravery of humanity with a child who believed in them was perhaps the greatest achievement of all. The Astra Leonis had awakened. Aiden's wish had been granted, and somewhere in the vast expanse of stars, the echo of human ingenuity and courage shone brightly, a reminder that no matter the odds, humans could rise, adapt, and succeed. And Marcus knew, with absolute certainty, that this was only the beginning. For as long as humans had the courage to act, the wisdom to think ahead, and the heart to protect others, there would always be stories of bravery waiting to be written. And one small wish, made by a curious boy, had reminded them all of that truth. Humans were awesome. Aiden beamed at his uncle one last time. I'll never forget today. I think I understand why humans can do anything. Marcus smiled, ruffling his hair. Good. That's the real magic of being human. Always remember it. As the sun rose higher, casting warm light on Luna Station, the two of them walked out together. Behind them, the Astra Leonis rested, ready for the next adventure. And ahead of them, the galaxy waited full of challenges, mysteries, and opportunities for humans to shine. For Marcus, Aiden, and the awakened ship, the story of human courage and ingenuity was far from over. It had only just begun.